Hello, everybody. My name is Ren Smith, and I am a football clown. Step right up and watch me make this money disappear. Welcome to Football Clowns Anonymous, episode 4. This is a podcast where a couple clowns get together, talk about the latest happenings in the NFL, make some bold predictions, and find a way to lose our money when we actually put our money where our mouth is. We're coming to you on YouTube. We're coming to you on Spotify. You can email us at footballclownsanonymous@gmail.com. With all that said, it's time to bring in a couple of co-clowns for our episode today. First off, my longtime co-clown joining us from Buffalo, New York, Kurtis Pinkney. And second of all, please join me in welcoming our first ever podcast guest joining us from scenic Broomfield, Colorado, Dr. Ryan Harp.
Hello. First time I've ever been called a co-clown, so that's pretty exciting.
There's a first time for everything.
Add it to the list of titles.
Absolutely. Put it on your CV next time you apply for a job.
Yeah. How did you envision being introduced as a co-clown at the same time as being called or labeled Dr. Harp?
I think co-clown's more prestigious, to be honest.
It
implies I have friends, which the doctor title doesn't. So
that's fair. I'll take it.
Good point. Well, I don't know. I don't have much of another sort of segue here, but we, the three of us got together last year and made some futures bets and predictions, and sort of at the beginning of the season, basically set down a competition where we bet, or we each had $10 in our hand, basically, and we tried to place the $10 on to make as much money as possible. And the winner, whoever made the most money, got an extra five bills from the two losers a piece. And unfortunately, last year we fell victim to Dr. Harp in this competition. And so we figured, with the invention of this podcast,
that was weak as hell. It was weak as hell. I don't even remember what you had on.
I did the least worst job, I think is the best way of putting it.
I think you hit on one bet.
No,
if memory serves.
That was actually me. So unfortunately for Kurtis here, I have pulled up the last year's competition for us to just take a look at here really quick. And just
you got to share your screen so we can see that.
As a reminder, I got it on the wrong screen. I might. You know what? Actually, we haven't tried to share a screen during the recording yet, so maybe we'll see how this works.
Exciting.
Yeah. I'm gonna get it pulled up while I keep talking. But basically, remember, we all had $10 sitting in our hands. And Ryan ended the competition with about $5. So that means that he lost $5 and he somehow still beat us. I ended up with $2.10 in my hand, and Kurtis ended up with $0. Kurtis, could you do us a favor and walk us through sort of how you turned $10 into $0?
See, what had happened was I took the approach of let's just hone in on a couple of sure things. And, they would have hit. But the way that the sun was angled in my eyes when I was clicking on the bets, I think I misclicked on a couple of things when I was working around in DraftKings. And so that's what I'm saying. So I think that's kind of what happened. I'm not going to make that mistake this year. I've got the shades drawn. You can't see it because I've got the clown background, but I've got the shades drawn. There's no glare. So there will be no misclicks this year. It's all. And, I've decided to expand a little bit more than 5 bets.
Yeah. I mean, last year you had 5 bets for $2 and they all went belly up. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm not sure if the audience can see it, but we'll just act like they can and hope for the best on this. So the only one I hit was the Bears under 7.5 wins. I said the Vikings to win the NFC North. That was a great bet. Yeah. Kurtis, Prince Charm, that's Trevor Lawrence, most regular season passing yards, Herbert most passing TDs, Devontae most regular season TDs, Eagles to win the Super Bowl. That's a good one. We should dive into that one. Spend about 15 minutes on it. And Jalen Hurts to win MVP.
That was looking good for the first 50% of the season. It fell apart pretty quick after that.
That is true. And then Ryan had a very diversified portfolio here. He hit 3 bets. He missed on a lot of them, but he actually hit 3 of them, and it was enough to carry him. I can't believe you hit the over on Jordan Love passing yards. That makes me sick.
That's crazy.
that was the easy one right there. Packers to make the playoff.
Chill out.
That's all I need.
Chill out.
To knock you both out. But actually,
Oh,
I do see I have a repeat bet for this year. So actually 2 repeat bets. So that's pretty exciting.
ooh,
Let me
interesting.
guess.
Yeah.
Packers to make the playoffs is one of them.
That is not one of them. No.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I bet you. Yeah, no, I bet you it's
Oh.
right there. Packers to win the North.
That's
All right.
We'll get into it. We'll get
into it. I'm gonna stop. Oh, I did the ultra tunnel here. Yeah, just a rookie mistake for if everyone saw that. Yeah, so I mean we can I don't know how we want to do this, but we can definitely just go ahead. So we all have our futures bets sort of in private, I guess, and we're just, last year we had a lot of fun texting for like half a day complaining at each other's picks because they were all wrong. And unfortunately for all of us, most of them were. But it was fun to do that and then kind of revisit that at the end of the year. So we're doing this on the air, basically, is the short version. So
so we discussed beforehand that both Ryan and myself have significantly more bets than you do, Ren. So maybe Dr. Harp and I can just kind of start from the top, and if you have bets that kind of sort of slot in somewhere, similar bets, within the same vein, we could try and discuss or lump them in. Is that you catch them picking up what I'm putting down?
I like it.
I've got a bunch of to make the playoffs picks here.
Well, what I'll do is while you guys are
trying to. Sorry, go ahead, Ren.
Oh no, I was just gonna say while you guys are going, I'll just document them, and so you're not copy and pasting while you're talking. But sure. I think it makes sense to me.
Sure, Ryan. You want to kick us off as the inaugural host?
Oh, sure. We'll start off with the lock of the season, which is Packers over 9.5.
Packers over 9.5.
I hate that that's easy, but it is easy.
I've got $2 on that. So
all right.
It's at minus 135 on DraftKings, which I assume is the book of choice.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, that seems I'm surprised you have 20 picks and you threw a whole $2 on one of them. But that is, it's probably a lock.
Yeah.
What's crazy is you threw those $2 on there, and that's for sure gonna flop. For sure gonna flop.
Tell me why.
Let's be honest. Like, the NFC North is going to be probably a little bit of a bloodbath for every division game that pops up. You don't stop, bro. After you're not on the hype train with JJ McCarthy yet. I'm on there.
It's very possible I will never be.
You're crazy as hell. After that preseason debut, that boy slanging the pill all over the yard. Come on, man. I'm on the hype train.
In the first half against the Raiders, real team, he had an interception. In the second half against the Raiders, fourth stringers, he had 2 touchdowns.
So he did what he's supposed to do against inferior opponents. Like, what do you mean?
And also screwed up against real competition.
Hey, so you're saying Kirk Cousins never threw a pick? Come on, dog.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stay silent because there's a Ren on the couch segment coming eventually with this betting segment.
We'll let you get there.
I'm supposed to be quiet and let you guys list your picks. We're only through one. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
So I am higher on the Bears than when we talked the other day, Ren, because my wife and I took our son to the Bills-Bears preseason game, so I got to see Caleb Williams in action. The kid's kind of nice. Like, he did not make a single mistake. He has some beautiful passes in the tight windows, passes downfield. He had a nice 20-yard scamper. He's probably going to be a dog. He's probably going to make the Bears look a lot better than they probably should be looking. I am going to respectfully say that you're 9.5 over. You're over on 9.5 wins. Terrible bet.
Wow.
And of course, I didn't even mention the Lions, but we all know what they're going to be. That's a Super Bowl contender right there.
I do agree that the division's on the up and up, minus 1 team, which brings me to my second bet. How's that for
Let's go. That was beautiful.
Under 6.5, another easy.
Ouch.
130.
And that what's the plus 130, right? How much did you wager on that?
$1 on that
$1. And that Kurtis said that I am to remain quiet until there's an opportunity for me to speak up. I have exactly the same. I have exactly the same bet, except I put $2 on it because that is how certain I am that is going to hit.
That is a true Vikings fan right there.
That division, the
most rad shit I've ever
division,
heard.
the Vikings will be lucky to win a single game against the division, especially the way that Caleb Williams looks.
I mean, you might find one win in there somewhere.
I was going to say, the chaos that is the NFL will allow the Vikings to have a few more than one win. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Enough to
Under
take
6.5 is probably a good bet though.
Yeah.
Kurtis, Ryan just asked is that enough to take the over. I want to see you.
Oh, no.
I want to see you throw three.
My only
$3.
no, sir. My only foray into this division is Bears under 8.5.
Okay.
And since I forgot to decide how much I wanted to wager on everything, I'm just gonna say 50 cents for everything, and I'll pluck out a bet that I don't like as we're going through this.
That works out.
Sounds
what are
good.
the odds on Bears under 8.5 is 140.
Correct. Yep.
And I know that because this is the only problem with Kurtis and I having recorded a couple times before this. I have exactly the same bet there too. So I'm really not that original, and I'm not going to win because I can't separate myself from you guys.
Well, that one I had after we talked about it, it was automatic. There's no way I couldn't put that on my sheet. But the only other win-loss bet that I made was Steelers over 8.5, because in Mike Tomlin we trust. We're not betting against the 500 line until he proves that we should be betting against it, which from what I can tell has never happened. So that's a lock.
So
all of my bets.
So I went some risky business here and took the Steelers under 8.5.
Wow.
I know.
Wild boy.
I
don't know what the under is, but the over is 120, right? Plus 120.
Okay.
The under is minus 145. So not great money for Mike Tomlin to go under 500 for his first ever time. But you got to figure, I mean, they really have a quarterback. They were like 9-3 in one score games last year. I mean,
I hear you.
Room for the bottom to fall out.
Sure. I guess the only and we talked about the Steelers the other day, and we kind of I think Ren made this point. Is Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields worse than Kenny Pickett? Is that what the argument is right now? Because that's the only thing that's really changed.
I think the argument is that they're not a 9-win team in actuality.
I don't want. This is a clown podcast. I don't want to side with either of you because it's more fun if I am contrarian. But I'm taking Ryan's side on this one, as I did against you last week, Kurtis. We discussed it. The problem is Russell Wilson until further notice, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying he's worse than Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying go back and look at the last 2 years with the Broncos. Until further notice, we can't trust him to carry a team to victory.
The Mike Tomlin disrespect will not be stood for. The
Mike Tomlin part, that is what scares me for sure.
It should scare you. He's over 500 is perfect in his career. How long has he been coaching? How many seasons is that? Because it's definitely double digits. Goofball 1 and 2 is what I'm looking at right now. I knew you guys are going to make this easy for me. I appreciate y'all. You know what? You guys are kind souls. I appreciate that. This is easy money. I've never made $10 so easy in my life.
Kurtis, you have listed 2 bets, and you are $10 and actually $15 in the hole from last year. There will be no trash talk until you actually have won something.
Interesting rebuttal, sir.
Of the 3 of us, one of us did not hit any bets last year.
That's true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ren.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. You guys have the same number. So I've got 3 from Ryan so far. I've got 2 from Kurtis. Kurtis, you want to go ahead and enlighten us with your next one?
Sure. So I'm going to go to the top of my list. I've got 4 teams to make the playoffs. I'm just going to rattle them off real quick. I like the Rams, Bucks, Colts, and the Cardinals as a fun one to slide in there. Rams were plus 100, Bucks were plus 145, Colts plus 140, and Cardinals plus 300. I'll just drop that in the chat for you, Ren, because I know I rattled that off quick. I don't know. I just kind of like the odds. So like the Rams at plus 100 was kind of a shocker to me. I understand that the Niners are in that division, but to the Rams not sneaking in there as a wild card in a wild card spot, they balled out of control last year. Like, what do we? I don't know. You lose Aaron Donald, obviously that hurts, but still got Matt Stafford. Cooper Kupp's coming back healthy. Puka Nakua's the greatest thing since sliced bread, depending on who you talk to. Kyron Williams is a dog. That's a good team, man. I thought that one was pretty easy. The Bucks, they're the only team in the South that brought back the whole squad, and they made the playoffs last year. I don't see why that was. They weren't the favorites. I think the Falcons were at a minus whatever. And I get the hype around Cousins, but they just lost Rondale Moore to a leg injury. I don't know. Do you guys see any beef with any of these picks?
The Cards plus 300 seems optimistic, but
it is.
Yeah.
I will admit that.
Otherwise, I honestly do like the Rams, Bucks, and Colts picks. I'm surprised they're all plus. I wish I had taken a closer look at some of those, especially the Rams and Bucks. Rams have some talent. The Bucks have an awful division that they can get some wins from. So,
sure, the Cardinals is kind of a. Once upon a time, we, as like a football community, really liked Kyler Murray. And the only issue that he has had over the past couple seasons is coming back from a torn ACL, I believe it was. I believe he's walking into the season fully healthy with arguably the best receiver he's ever thrown to. No disrespect to D-Hop, but he got D-Hop later in his career. Trey McBride's supposed to be a dog. James Conner is still plodding along, surprisingly. I don't know. The offense might be sneaky decent. Couple of coin flip games fall their way, throughout the season. They sneak in as a wild card. I don't know. At plus 300, I thought it was kind of a fun little. We'll just sneak it in there, see what happens.
I think the value's there at plus 300, but it's not I'm not super optimistic about it still. I think it's maybe a good play for the payout, I guess. But
sure.
I have, considering the season they had last year, but like you said, Kyler Murray's coming back he came back off of injury last year and
right.
Presumably has had a full off season of being healthy and normal again. So,
right.
It could happen. You never know. There's always chaos. There's always teams that shouldn't make the playoffs that do, considering their preseason projections. So yeah, that was fast and efficient. Fast and efficient delivery of the 4 picks there.
Yeah,
you're doing 50 cents on all these, you said, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just making sure, making sure there's not room for you to reinterpret things after the, after.
Oh, no. Everything's 50 cents. It's like Dollar General, but half.
Half Dollar General.
Half Dollar General.
There it is. We made a new store.
That's right.
Yep.
And no issue with the Colts. I think they were they were either the second or the third favorite within that division, which was kind of wild to me. One of them was the third, and it kind of blew my mind. I don't remember which one, but the Colts, that offense, if Anthony Richard is even half of the quarterback that people are hyping him up to be, that offense should be out of control. And they got the OC that made Jalen Hurts look like the next coming of Jesus, that turned Jalen Hurts into the GOAT. So there's no question in my mind that offense will be just fine.
No objection here.
I love it.
I'm not gonna dig in my heels over that one.
Nice. Well, that makes me feel good. That's a nice vote of confidence from my co-clowns. I don't know if I should be excited or scared about that.
If we all agree, I'd change your bets.
All 4 down in flames. Light $2 on fire.
Yep.
So,
what do you got for us next, Ryan?
As I say, I don't have any just straight up to make the playoff bets, but I do have an NFC North order. Actually,
Ooh.
I have two of them.
Ooh,
Playing the odds a little bit here.
this is
So
interesting.
I have Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I also have Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings.
One of those is absolutely going to hit.
That was my thought.
Yeah.
Both of those are 600. So
They're
Yeah.
what?
Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings is plus 600, and Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings is plus 650.
Jeez.
So I got 50 cents on each of those.
You have
One's obviously not going to hit, but I feel pretty confident that one of them is. So
Yeah, I mean, the only way one of those or either of those don't hit is barring a catastrophic injury to one of the quarterbacks of those teams, and the Bears sneak into that 2 spot.
yeah, or the Bears bear and somehow end up in 4th, which I like the
Sometimes
potential, but they are the Bears. So
they are the Bears. That's true. But the Lions used to be the Lions, and now they're the Lions. So
also true.
I don't know.
True.
It is hard to have expectations for the Lions after 25 plus years of preconditioning about how bad they are as an NFC North football fan.
Yeah.
But they are all that in a bag of chips. Yeah, they'll be in one of those top 2 spots, barring, like you said, Kurtis, a catastrophic injury to Goff. Or
Right.
I think he's probably the only one that would.
I just saw today Gibbs pulled up with a hamstring, so I mean that's not a great way to start off your season.
So it begins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good bets.
I like those a lot actually.
I'm feeling good.
I want to talk mess on those, but I don't think there's very much room for it.
Yeah, well done.
All right, Ryan, what do you got on your sheet, man? I'm curious if we haven't touched anything that you're looking at. What's on your mind?
Well, as long as we're on, well, let me think here. I got one that I'm actually really.
Vikings under. Yeah, that's right.
What's that? Yeah, well, no, I have the Vikings and the Bears under already that are on the sheet, so that's why I'm kind of still staying a little bit quiet here. I do have one more NFC North bet, and I also have an NFC East bet because I know Kurtis has got something. There's something to do with the Eagles in that 20 bets. I'm hoping.
So I've got one. I had to go back and find one.
I was kind of waiting for my moment there with the NFC East. But I'm gonna, while we're really hitting the NFC North hard here early, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. This is the Ren on the therapy couch segment of the week. Vikings to be the last winless team in the NFL plus 900 for $1. Now, I'm realistically not that low on the Vikings. However, as Kurtis and I have talked about, they could win their first game, which is against the Giants. I think they're going to lose, but they could win their first game against the Giants. After that, in my opinion, they do not have a winnable game until November.
I just pulled up that schedule.
You just looking at the schedule? Yeah, it's not pretty.
There's something to it, I think, that it'll probably go up in flames in the first weekend. They'll beat the Giants and they'll look okay. And because Daniel Jones is disgusting. But they have to play the Texans, they have to play the Niners, they give up a home game to play Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in London. They play the Packers and the Lions early. Again, they don't have a winnable game until November after week 1. So if they can escape from that game without winning, which is not something I'm actually rooting for, but I don't know. I think it's kind of me betting against myself too. Either I'm rich or I'll have money, but I think there's legitimate chance that they start the season 1-5, 1-6, and they have an opportunity to claim that last winless team spot. So,
a thought that just came to mind is I wish I would have looked to see if there was a bet to project who would get the number 1 pick, because the Vikings would be a very fun bet to put in there. If you start 0-9. The number one pick's got to be a lock at that point, right?
Pretty much, yeah. They do have a couple of winnable games in the back half of the season. We discussed They're probably going to they'll steal a division game somewhere. I don't know who it'll be against. They'll steal one just because they will. But they have the Colts, they have the Cardinals, they have the Titans, and somebody else that I'm not thinking of right now. But yeah, they're not going to go 0-16. I just think that the opening schedule is just so brutal that I don't like it, but I like it at plus 900. I'll just keep it at that.
It's a fun bet. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good about that Vikings under right about now. I hadn't even looked at their schedule, and
shit,
that's a murder's row off the bat right there.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, I should add, I have more of my personal money already on that under. Not a large amount, but I didn't commit all of that money. I only committed $2 to this. I have more than that of my personal account in that Vikings under because I really like it.
Yeah, that's tough. Poor Sam Darnold. You know, just a rough start to his career. You know what I'm saying? He got blessed to be a New York Jet. I don't remember who his coach was, but just terrible dysfunction. You know, go to San Francisco, kind of show out a little bit, earn yourself another chance at a starting job, and then this schedule is what you're gifted with. Just RIP.
Just keeping the seat warm for JJ, really.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not if JJ comes in 4 or 5 games in after that, like it's not necessarily a great start for him.
True.
I think I worry. I think at risk of talking about the Vikings too much, I do worry that the opening schedule for Sam Darnold is so hard that Vikings fans are going to want JJ in too soon. Yeah. And then, you know, he would benefit from a Jordan Love, I hate to say it, a Jordan Love treatment where he gets to kind of sit and develop for a year or maybe 3 kind of thing. Vikings fans are not going to give him that time because they're impatient.
Yeah. Especially when you got Justin Jefferson, who I will go ahead and try my hand at a nice segue here. Most receiving yards at plus 1,000. Thought that was kind of an easy bet because it doesn't really matter who's back there throwing him the ball. He will catch it, and he will be open to catch it. I don't care if you put me back there. I can promise you I'll give him 1,000 yards over the season. I thought that was a pretty easy bet, barring injury, of course. What did I say that was? Yeah, they have a most receiving it. Okay, yeah, never mind.
I'm surprised that's plus 1,000. That's good money for that. Again, the quarterback is a big question, but
sure,
never know.
But yeah, I mean, there's question marks for all the top receivers. I mean, Tua in the winter times for Tyreek. Joe Burrow going to stay healthy for Jamar. I guess Amon-Ra St. Brown's probably up there somewhere. I don't know. But betting against Justin Jefferson seems like a fool's errand, so I went ahead and put 50 cents on it.
Not bad.
I like it. I'm biased, but I still like it.
Yep.
And
I'm looking at my bets and I'm realizing I have a lot of bets in the NFC North. I did not it wasn't on purpose, but because I've got the Lions as division winners, I've got the Lions as conference winners. What else? Caleb Williams for rookie stuff. I had Caleb Williams in there, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's keep on with our going section by section. I kind of like that.
Yeah, Ryan, you want to step back in here?
Yeah, I'll throw out a few random player over unders here. I'm gonna kind of go rapid fire.
I'm ready.
All right, I've got Josh Allen over 3,750 yards at minus 120. I've got $1 on that one.
Sweet.
I've got Jordan Love over 27.5 tutties at minus 110, 50 cents on there.
That's a easy, yeah.
Yep.
Easy. That's an easy bet.
Easy money.
I've got
so in the same vein, I've got Jordan Love at most passing yards for plus 1,600. I thought that was a fun. I was trying to find some negative ones for the Packers and the Vikings, like interceptions thrown and whatnot, but all I kept seeing was all these positive stuff. So I was like, I guess I gotta show some love to these clowns teams. And A lot of people talk about Jordan Love similar, or like, to me, it seems like Jordan Love and CJ Stroud's situations are carbon copies of each other. Young quarterback, got a pretty decent receiving, or just offense built around him in general. And I feel like Jordan Love doesn't quite get the same respect as CJ Stroud. I don't necessarily know if he deserves it, but the situations are similar enough, and the odds for Jordan Love in these kinds of things, like the most passing yards or touchdowns or, any of those categories, are a lot longer for Jordan Love. So, if they're kind of the same thing to me in my head, and the odds are longer, let's go ahead and make a little bit more money because Jordan Love's probably going to hit. Why not?
Hard to disagree. The one thing I'll say is that the Packers seem to be running a fairly slow offense the last couple of years. I think that will probably pick up now that the pass catchers are starting to get a little bit more experience under their belts, but that might just knock down some of the volume stats. So that would be the only thing against that, but plus 1,600, I mean.
It's a shot in the dark anyway. Yeah.
Why not?
I hope it misses, but I'm not going to disagree with it. Yeah. Keep on trucking, Ryan.
Keep on keeping on. All right. Yep. I've got Patrick Mahomes under 4,350 yards at minus 130.
Interesting.
Yeah. My thought here is that finally seems to have a defense behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, the lack of wide receivers is going to catch up to him. I mean, they did a little bit to address the room in the offseason, but 4,350 yards is a lot of yards. All it takes is a victory for 2-3 weeks, and that's it.
I just had to pull up his passing stats because last year he was at 4183, but the 3 years before that he smashed that 4,300.
With garbage defenses in the back, though.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a tough one. I want to disagree with you. They got the rookie, what's his name? Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice is not suspended yet. Travis Kelce still exists. Oh man. I want to disagree with you. It's crazy to say that it's scary to disagree with a Patrick Mahomes under. What a time to be alive.
I mean, I won't argue with anybody who says Mahomes is the overall day, but throw a little bit extra spice on there. And the odds,
right.
Actually, I mean, I'm surprised that was a minus 130. So
sure.
Yeah, I think it's a safer. I mean, he's definitely capable of hitting the over, but I think it's a safer bet. And I think, Kurtis was sharing a little podcast wisdom with me earlier, and it's actually kind of interesting to, or football, I guess, wisdom, whatever. But it's interesting. Everybody wants and has a tendency to want to take overs, but in reality, unders a lot of times are safer. And this is a really high bar to clear, even if he's capable of clearing it, obviously. So it's probably I think it's a safe bet for the money.
Absolutely.
Yep. Keep them coming. We're not letting you go rapid fire. I apologize.
That's okay. And then I've got Kyler Murray over 3,400 yards at minus 110. So
total or passing?
Oh, passing. Yeah.
Over 30. How many?
3,400 yards, which is
you could hit that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pretty within reach, and the Cardinals' defense is looking pretty suspect, and they have some potential weapons there.
Yeah.
And how you feel about rookie wide receivers and things like that, but yeah, so I got a quarter on that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of talking heads are talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. having 1,300 plus yards or something crazy like that. I mean, if he gets that, the 3,400 should be an easy smash.
Yeah, what'd you say the odds are on that again, Ryan?
Minus 110.
I like that for minus 110. I mean, that suggests that it's 50%. It suggests that the payout is 50%, but I think it's probably more likely than 50%. Bad defense, and if the game script isn't favoring, he's going to start chucking the ball down the field, as he has a propensity to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those will be intercepted, but those don't count against him. So for this bet,
Right.
anyways.
I'm hoping for the Jameis Winston treatment on that bet.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, good old famous Jameis. Man, he's come out with some great sound bites over the past week or so. He's a national treasure, man. Love it.
What's he said this week?
He was talking about Deshaun Watson, something about knick-knack, paddywhack. When the lights come on, Deshaun Watson's gonna be back. I don't know what he said, but he rhymed the whole thing, and it was. I'll find it and I'll send it to you guys in the group chat because it was glorious.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, please do. That's yikes.
But
Ryan,
yeah. So
all right,
go ahead.
Ryan, keep your roll here. We're not letting you keep your roll, but keep your roll anyways.
Yeah, I've got just a couple more that are in the same vein. I've got Rashawn Gary over 7.75 sacks at -115.
That's probably going to hit
50 cents on that. Feeling good about it. Got a new defensive coordinator. Seems like it's going to be a bit more of an aggressive scheme. Gary put up 9 sacks last year coming off a torn ACL and Joe Barry's trash defense. So feeling good about the 7.75 there. And then let's see, I've got 2 rookie bets. Caleb Williams, the most yards of rookie wide receivers, rookie quarterbacks, just +100, but feel pretty good about that. And then
I've got that one too. That was a smash. I couldn't bet on that fast enough.
I got a quarter on there, and then I've got a quarter on Keon Coleman, most yards at +800.
Oh wow, really?
So yeah,
I took Malik Neighbors in that spot at +370.
not bad there. Josh Allen's got to throw to somebody.
He does. And speaking of which, I've got a nice team special here for the Bills. Khalil Shakir, 1,000+ receiving yards, and Dalton Kincaid, 700 or +750 yards, and that is at +700. So I agree with you. I just don't necessarily agree with the target. Well, I suppose everybody could win in that scenario.
Yeah.
I guess technically that's true. But if Shakir and Kincaid have 1,750 of those yards, I don't know if Keon's getting is getting enough to win the most regular season receiving yards by a rookie.
It's all right, +800. Why not?
Yeah.
Keon Coleman is +800 for the rookie yards.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Josh Allen does have to throw to somebody, I guess. It's good to. I mean, yeah, they lost Diggs in the offseason, so +800 is good value.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel fine, not great about it. So, quarter, see what happens.
I feel like if you did feel really great about a +800 bet, I'd be a little concerned for you.
+800 rookie wide receiver bet. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were like easy lock, be like, no. Good value. Now you're talking, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, good bets. These are interesting. You got a lot of Bills action here. It's happening recently. We got a bet on Shakir, Kincaid, Keon Coleman. I like it. I don't have anything from the AFC East to add. So I'll continue to be quiet and wait for Kurtis to say his Eagles bet. But actually,
yeah. So if we're sticking in the AFC East real quick, I've got Garrett Wilson as the most receiving touchdowns at +1,400. I'm thinking Aaron Rodgers, assuming he stays healthy, is going to go ahead and give him the Devontae Adams treatment. Anywhere inside the 5, just go ahead and hook somebody, and I'll get it to you.
That goal line out route was unguardable. with the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. I think I still have nightmares about that as a Vikings fan. It was unguardable.
This is the only image I have in my head right now, and I haven't watched too much Garrett Wilson too much of him playing football, but from the way people talk about him, I'm guessing he could probably hit it with about 75 to 85% efficiency, and that's probably good enough to get most receiving touchdowns, especially if Aaron Rodgers loves to lock in on, or Ryan, more than anybody, he loves to lock in on his favorite receiver.
He does. That if either of you find Jalen Ramsey annoying like I do, a great clip to watch is Devontae Adams on this little motion and cut back, and the Rams botched the handoff of who's guarding Devontae Adams, wide open in the end zone. Jalen Ramsey throws a fit afterward.
It's crazy. I think I remember watching that game because I'm pretty sure I've got that memory teed up in my memory banks right now, and it was incredibly entertaining because he was just getting torched the whole game. It was wonderful.
Just an illustration of what Aaron Rodgers likes to do with his number one wideout.
Yeah. If they both stay healthy, I don't think we should be surprised if Garrett Wilson has a pretty monster season. But that's all I've got for the East. I am done in there. Ren, since we love to get you involved, I'll get you my Eagles pick here. So we've got Jalen Hurts to hit 4,000 passing yards at plus 300. I don't necessarily feel great about that because he's never done it.
I was going to say that seems like a high bar to clear. I mean, it's plus. I mean, it's kind of baked into the plus 300, I guess. But
I'm throwing on a light. You guys keep going.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that it's at plus 300. I don't love it, and it's the the Eagle style play, and now they have Saquon Barkley in the backfield. I wouldn't be surprised, and Jalen Hurts likes to do things with his legs too. Obviously, no reason to suggest that he's going to slow down with that this season.
No.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. But for plus 300, maybe. I don't know.
I thought it was an acceptable amount of risk, and I mean, I was looking at his stats over his career, and he has increased in passing yards over every season. Last year, I was kind of surprised to see he had 3,858 passing yards. So actually, not that far off. And I mean, we all saw what happened to that Eagles offense last year. I mean, the thing fell off a cliff. So if it rebounds in any kind of significant fashion, I think 4,000 is within reason.
I think it is, but I also would question, I mean, if the Eagles are humming like they were early in last season, are they going to have a style of play that would permit Jalen Hurts to throw for 300 some yards a game, something like that?
I think the way that offense, I mean, you've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as your, outside receivers. I mean, yeah, you got Saquon Barkley, but those are some dogs on the outside. Like, what you just going to let them run wind sprints all game? Like, what do you mean?
No, but I'm just saying the Eagles might take control of the game and just not kind of not take Jalen Hurts out of it, but they might make passing a little bit less of a strategy if they can kind of like the Cowboys did last year, which leads me to my NFC East pick, which is the NFC East champion to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay,
plus 155.
These are the same Cowboys that can't get their stars on their contract.
You know what? If they don't sign CeeDee Lamb, I have lost this pick. But it's not going to be the Giants, and it's not going to be the Commanders. We don't even need to discuss that. So I believe it's a coin flip between the Eagles and the Cowboys. And after watching the Eagles in the back half of last season, I have no reason to believe that they're going to take their, they were minus, they're like the clear and away favorite to win the division, and I don't know why. I don't understand why they're the clear and away favorite to win the division. So if it's a coin flip, I like taking something that's plus 155 to make me a little cash there. Please, I invite all your criticism.
Kurtis, this is you.
I cannot get behind a team that has the star receiver not at camp yet because he's not getting paid. I believe Micah Parsons is I'm pretty sure he's in camp, but he's looking to get paid. Dak Prescott has not gotten paid. And outside of those three, I'm not like just the team in general. I'm not sure you could name me a player on that squad. Like we talked about this when we were going through our NFC over-unders. I just quite simply enjoy the Eagles roster construction a lot more than I like the Cowboys roster construction. And when it's coming down to the wire, because it, as much as I hate to admit it, probably will come down to the last few games of the season, I just see the Eagles persevering and going ahead and taking that division.
Like they did last year?
They did not do that last year.
Why?
Last year was different than this year, sir.
I mean, it is. I can't unsee what I saw at the end of last season. And the Cowboys dropped a huge deuce in the wild card round against Ryan's Packers last year.
Yeah.
That being said,
awful.
They were, but that being said, before that, we were talking about this last week. They were blowing teams out by 40 points at home. I just don't see any reason why.
They also lost to the Cardinals.
They lost, yes. I'm sure you could go back and find every team lost to it. The 49ers made the Super Bowl last year. They lost to the Vikings. We're not going to let one game rule a whole season. Obviously you're right, but it's a blip in the radar.
Sure. I hear what you're saying about the Eagles, but I mean, to use the previous season in the NFL especially, like this is the one league I think in all of sports that, last season really has zero bearing on the next season. I mean, where were the Texans before last year? Where were the Lions 2 or 3 years ago? I don't think the argument that, well, they were bad last year, so they must be awful this year. I don't see how that you can make the argument that holds water. The
Fair.
Bears last year were hot dog water, and now we're talking about them potentially causing some chaos in the top 2 seeds for the NFC North. Like, what are you talking about, Doug? You can't have it both.
And in the same vein, you can't just say the Steelers have always been over 500, so I'm going to continue to bet them to be over 500.
That sample size is large enough to where I most certainly can say that, because that is double-digit years, sir. That's over a decade. That's creeping up on 50% of the time that we have been alive. Mike Tomlin has been dog walking the NFC North. 50%.
The
50% of AFC North. Yeah, excuse me. 50% of your life, sir. Mike Tomlin has been #that guy. That is a significant enough sample size where I feel comfortable saying that is going to be the case.
Fine. But anyway, I'm doing what I'm doing here. And after seeing all your guys' deep flyers here, that one of these is probably going to hit. I don't know why I'm wasting my time with plus 155 bets anyways. Should have taken the Commanders because it doesn't make any sense. And that's why I should have done it, because it'll probably happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tuck my tail between my legs and slink back to the hole.
You made one note. You said deep flyers. Ryan, do you see any deep flyers on your sheet? Because I don't see any on mine.
I see blocks.
That's all I see.
Yeah, that's all I see.
I may be on your sheet, Ren. I can see how you might think that, but on my sheet, I just see a bunch of
plus 1,000. I'm seeing a guy who's going to get the most receiving yards without a quarterback for plus 1,000. I'm seeing a guy with a quarterback who missed all last season due to injury getting the most touchdowns. I'm seeing a rookie.
I've also got King Henry at the most rushing touchdowns at plus 650.
That's awfully interesting, but he's old now, but
Jesus Christ,
he's still probably got some good on the
you're not about to talk crazy about Derrick Henry.
I mean, you don't count out LeBron James, you don't count out Derrick Henry.
Thank you. You got to ride that until the wheels fall off.
Kind of like Mike Evans too. Yes. Wait till he doesn't put up 1,000-yard season.
Right.
That's fair. And until then, you can profit on them.
That's right.
I get it.
I do have an actual deep flyer.
Go. Let's hear it. I can't wait.
which is Rashawn Gary, Defensive Player of the Year, plus
Wow.
5,000.
Wow, that's a deep flyer.
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
Is that
Is it
your?
even happening? Probably not.
You actually did have. That's the one you had last year.
It's one of the two I had last year, along with another one, which I'll throw right now, which is Josh Allen MVP
Okay.
at plus 900.
That's
And
that's probably more likely than plus 900.
I had 50 cents on Allen and a quarter on Rashawn Gary there.
I don't. I as a default Bills fan, I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say this. I'm not really sure I love the Josh Allen MVP pick, just given we were just having a discussion about who is he throwing to conversation a few minutes ago.
But the flip side is, if he puts up numbers, leads him to a 1 or 2 seed. They don't. Seems like the defense is going to fall off this year, so there's opportunity for numbers. I mean, Josh Allen's he's that dude. Plus
he is that guy. That is I would have to imagine just the root of the argument. You know, is similar to my Mike Tomlin argument. Until he shows us otherwise, he is that guy.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers was putting up MVP numbers with Devontae Adams and garbage. How did he? Yeah, he still had Devontae the second MVP season of the more recent chunk, I think. I
believe so.
Yeah, there's no way he could have done it with just Allen Lazard, but
no.
And Mark and MVS.
No, there's no way.
There's no way. I'm gonna double check, but that would really that would put be a solid counterexample to the needing of talent.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that the Josh Allen MVP number is kind of deflated because of the lack of Stephon Diggs, and that then in and of itself is why it's a good place to take that bet. Probably, it's not a great thing to bet on per se, but at plus 900 again,
sure,
you have to consider what the odds are. If you were getting Josh Allen MVP at minus 110, I'd be calling you insane.
That's a hard pass. Yeah.
Anyone else for the other minus 110, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've each got a couple of these left, and we're coming up on time. I think here pretty soon.
Yeah, let me rattle. So I've got I mentioned conference winners. I got the Lions as the conference winners at plus 550.
Just to be clear on that, are you have them winning the NFC, representing the NFC in the Super Bowl, or do you have them getting the 1 seed in the playoffs?
The NFC conference winners.
So representing
that
you are picking them to make the Super Bowl.
That is correct. Yes.
Got it. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yep. And then division winners. I guess I doubled down on the Lions here because I've got them at plus 135. I've got the Texans at plus 105 and the Bucks at plus 320.
The Bucks are 320 to win the division.
Come on, dog. Come on.
That's wrong. That's just incorrect.
Come on, Brody. Come on, Doug.
Good find.
How did you find Texans? Texans are plus 105.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe that actually.
I told you I had a nice, wonderful morning where the wife and the baby were asleep. I had a nice cup of coffee and I just opened up DK on my laptop and I just started going through the tabs, just seeing what's going on out there. And when I saw the Bucks 320, I was like, you guys are smoking dust. There's no way. The last year's division winners, the only team that brought back everybody. Ryan just mentioned Mike Evans. Baker Mayfield is not a scrub. I mean, we've all seen many examples of dream teams, what the Falcons are trying to put together that are supposed to be, the greatest thing since sliced bread, fall apart pretty much from the word go. Like I don't know. It seemed like a pretty easy, and we don't believe in the Saints or the Panthers, the poor Panthers, but so the Bucks at 320 was easy. Plus 320.
Some heavy expectations being thrown around on the Falcons for throwing a new team together with a quarterback coming off an ACL Achilles injury.
Yes. new offensive scheme. You got the new offensive coordinator in there, or was it the new head coach? Not the offensive coordinator, new head coach. It's a lot for pretty much a brand from the I'm not a believer. And then my last two that I've got here, running backs to have 1,000 yards. I've got Pacheco at plus 140 and Mixon at plus 170.
Man Mixon.
He's old reliable. Just get you 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but he'll get you 1,000 yards at the end. Is there a running back behind him? I don't even know who else is behind him on that roster. Same with Pacheco.
Mixon moved, right? Or
yeah, he's with the Texans now. Love both of those offenses. I expect both of them to move up and down the field.
My only complaints with both of those would be that both of those are kind of involved in the passing game a little bit, and that might take a chunk into their yards. But if those teams are ahead a lot, which they ought to be, that will also then make them lean into the run more. So they're pretty safe bets, I think.
Sure. Just some garbage time in the fourth quarter type of, get 5 extra carries here and there.
Just because I missed, you had Texans, Bucks, and one other team to win the division.
Lions. Plus 130, plus 135.
I can't believe the Lions are in the plus. I feel like they should be favored, but I mean, it's just a split with the Packers probably.
I think that's what it was.
Slightly favored over the Packers.
Yeah. Good money there either way, I think.
100%. Yeah, you could easily throw the Packers in that and feel equally as good or confident.
I'm gonna sneak in one because we just talked about the Falcons. I have Falcons under 9.5 wins for plus 115. Also, just because that line is not in the right spot for me.
Right.
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there. And Ryan and I feel like collectively over the past few weeks thrown a healthy amount of shade at the Falcons. There's a solid chance that we end up with a lot of egg on our face for all the shit that we've been talking. But until then, just gonna keep piling it on.
We're gonna enjoy the ride. I can't see him winning 10 games. I just can't do it. The division's bad, but there's winnable games in that division, but it's just
right.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ryan, I'll throw out some rapid fire here. I've got
what do you got here?
I've got a number remaining. We've got a few win total over-unders. Raiders under 6.5.
Interesting.
At plus 110. Got Ravens under 11.5 at minus 185. A lot of wins right there for an injury-prone quarterback team.
That is a lot of wins for any kind of team.
And then I got Texans under 9.5 at plus 120.
Wow. And I've got
timeout. Explain yourself there.
So, all right, here's the logic. Texans were nuts last year. Out of nowhere, they were 7-3 in one-score games. CJ Stroud lit the world on fire. I mean, I don't know if they can really have a better outcome than that. So even if they're a more talented team, they have to hit 10 to hit the over with a sophomore quarterback and hope that they're actually either they get lucky in one-score games again or they are improved enough to combat that. So that's where I'm at.
I hear you. The only rebuttal I have is you made that exact same argument for the Packers to go over 9.5 games. Outside of I don't think you looked up a one-score stat for the Packers, but outside of that, it's the exact same argument, just in reverse.
I didn't make that argument about the Packers because they were 6-5 in one-score games. Steelers were 7-3, or not? No, they were 9-3, if I remember right.
How do you have all these one-score game stats just locked and loaded like this?
I remembered 2 of them. Those are the 2. Steelers and I guess the Packers too. Steelers, Packers, and
Texans.
But that's basically the basis of the bet. Is they got lucky last year. They look good, but
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ruin your rapid fire segment here, Ryan, and I'm gonna speak up because I have a bet there too. And I'm crazy, but Kurtis and I talked about this. I have the Texans to be the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs at plus 800, because if they don't slump and they look like that again, we're not going to say the Chiefs are probably going to win the Super Bowl again, because why not? But they're probably not going to be the 1 seed in the AFC. They're going to struggle, and they're going to look like the Tom Brady Patriots did, struggling, stumbling and bumbling their way to a division victory. And then the second season starts in January. So the Texans, it wouldn't surprise me if they can repeat that performance with the addition of Stephon Diggs and end up as a 14-win team this year. I absolutely hear your points. I just don't think I think I have the opposite angle of, until they prove me wrong, that was a treat to watch, and I think that they're going to be very competitive again this year in a conference that I wouldn't say is necessarily wide open, but it's maybe wide open for the 1 seed. As to who's going to claim that.
The AFC is going to be a bloodbath.
Yep.
Just in general. Yeah. There's so many good teams over there.
Yeah, you can easily name 5-6 teams that could all win.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, Chiefs obviously, but they kind of feel like they're at that point where they are like an NBA team that doesn't need the high seed to win, and they just coast and do whatever the rest of the year. Good spot for an NFL team.
It is.
Yeah, Chiefs, Bills, Texans, Ravens. Who am I missing?
Bengals.
Yeah, I mean,
the Chargers and for a second, but probably not this year, but maybe in a year or two. Yeah, the AFC is wild. Yeah, and a thought that came to mind, Ren, while you were talking is there's a non-zero chance we might have a Texans-Lions Super Bowl. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about.
That is wild.
That would be pretty crazy, considering
time to be alive.
Considering the last decade of their performance.
Just ineptitude.
Yep. Ryan, you want to keep? Sorry to interject, but you want to?
No, you're good. I've got some award winners. These are all. There's all 1 quarter on the rest of these, but Tyreek, Offensive Player of the Year at plus 700. Purdy for MVP at plus 1,600, and Mahomes for MVP at plus 475, which not great odds, but the Chiefs are good. Mahomes has the reputation where he doesn't have to come out of nowhere like Jordan Love if he wants to win an MVP and kind of overcome a narrative. He came off a Super Bowl win, so
I honestly love the Purdy pick. Because
that's just the quarterback of the best team in the NFC. So
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was like week 14, 15 last year. Like, he was the favorite for a minute. Like, right. That was Exactly. So that's probably a sneaky good pick right there.
And plus 1,600.
Exactly. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, good find. And I actually like Mahomes at 475 also. It wouldn't shock me. If he does well enough and there's enough of a conflict of like who it should be, though I wouldn't be surprised if the reputation could be a tiebreaker in a situation where it's him or Jared Goff or Brock Purdy or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, well, Mahomes has won 2 Super Bowls, and let's be real, he's probably going to win his 3rd this year, and let's just give it to him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right, I'll wrap up with 3 Super Bowl bets.
There we go.
Which are not necessarily the teams that I think will win the Super Bowl, but the odds that I like the most are Lions at plus 1,200, Bills at plus 1,500, and Green Bay Packers at plus 1,900.
And this is just to make it or to win?
To win the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The Packers are plus 1,900.
They are indeed.
That's a good. I hate that it's a good bet, but it is actually probably a good bet because it does have a legitimate chance. Go back and look at the playoffs last year. Jordan Love, stole that game against the Cowboys. He should have beat the 49ers too.
They should have beaten the 49ers.
The Packers should have beat the 49ers. It's not just him, but he played lights out awesome. That could have been the most epic NFC Championship game between the Packers and Lions of all time.
That would have been fun.
That would have been nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were robbed of that, and we were robbed of the Lions being in the Super Bowl too. Let's be real. But yeah, that they were that close to beating the team that went to the Super Bowl. So it's
right.
1900 is very much within, or it's very much within the realm of possibility. Better than 1900, I think.
That was my thought. Just a few mid-tier picks there. You know, not investing in the favorites where one injury and you're getting washed because
Right. Yeah.
Mahomes goes out or something. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's
what I got. So
I love it. I got two more, and I'll go really fast. Browns under 8.5 in Deshaun Watson. We do not trust until further notice. He has not proven that he can do better than that. And the Browns are going to Brown. Yep. I think 8.5 is too optimistic for them. And last one, I'm very excited about this. It's only plus 100. Daniel Jones over 8.5 interceptions.
There it is.
He'll hit that by week 9.
That's so disrespectful.
I hope that's a good way to end.
That is a phenomenal way to end, sir. That was beautiful. Very poetic. Sir.
I wish it was plus 200, but I'll take it. I'll take it where I can get it.
Yeah.
All right. Any last thoughts, friends?
I hope that none of your bets hit, except for the ones where we overlap.
What about Josh Allen for MVP?
We can let that one slide too.
Bills winning the Super Bowl?
I would be okay with that one sliding as well. But other than that.
Well said. Playing on that. I hope Ryan's Packers Super Bowl pick beefs it in week 1 somehow, which is not possible. But I guess Jordan Love could get hurt, but I don't actually wish. Yeah. I don't wish for that though. That's not nice. All right. Cool. Thanks again, friends. Thanks, Ryan, for being our first guest. And
very much appreciate it, man.
Yeah, breaking down what you're thinking about this NFL season, and maybe we'll have a follow-up episode in February or March where we break down what the heck went wrong with almost all of these.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
I would love to be back and chop it up with my fellow co-clowns again soon.
Oh, yes.
Love it. All right. Well, once again, we're Football Clowns Anonymous. Like, subscribe, comment, and email us at footballclownsanonymous@gmail.com. And with that, we'll see you all again next week. Thanks, guys.
Peace.